Coming up on Cronkite News, we'll tell you about proposals to beef up the border and if it will impact us here in Arizona.
Plus, studying Arizona's small streams, what those springs can tell us about our drought.
And later, sometimes DNA test results bring not so pleasant surprises about family trees. One group is helping people navigate the effects.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Ethan Ryder.
And I'm Lauren Green. Thanks for joining us. 1 month after snubbing President Biden at the Summit of the Americas, Mexican President Manuel Lopez Obrador attended a meeting with President Biden at the White House. Julio Mora Rodriguez tells us both leaders agreed to address several issues between the two countries.
The principal issue on the table was immigration. The two leaders agreed to look at expanding work visas and legal paths to migration. According to the White House, the Mexican government also agreed to invest $1.5 billion into border infrastructure. The two leaders agreed to further cooperation to combat drug traffickers and to encourage Mexico to take in more Central American migrants. Despite the meeting, immigration lawyer Ray Ybarra doesn't think anything will change.
There's no policy behind it. There's no legalization of people. There's no increase of work visas. There's no substantive change that's going to happen. If you read even the joint statement they put together, it was more focused on the free movement of goods and the not taxing of goods.
According to Border Patrol, in May, over 239,000 migrants crossed the southern border. Close to 77,000 of those came from Mexico. The hope is that legal immigration will help with the labor shortage issues in this country. In the newsroom, Julio Mora Rodriguez, Cronkite News.
In the aftermath of the recent decision by the Supreme Court regarding abortion, the Department of Justice has created a new task force. The Reproductive Rights Task Force comes as a result of President Biden's executive order where he called for the Justice Department to take action on reproductive rights. The task force is supposed to monitor state and local legislation that could infringe on the right to seek reproductive care, as well as work on safeguarding access to medical abortions and emergency contraception. They are also working on protecting patient privacy. Arizona has once again been brought up in the January 6th committee hearings. Arizona Republican Congressman Andy Biggs and Paul Gosar attended a meeting in late December 2020 to reportedly make plans for the January 6th insurrection. This comes from a White House visitor log. An email from a GOP congressman had January 6th in the subject line as well. Arizona has been mentioned in nearly all the committee hearings so far, and former Arizona Congressman Jim Colby said in his opinion there has been a focus on Arizona because the effort to overturn the election went past January.
As inflation increases and the strain of the COVID-19 pandemic continues, Maricopa County residents are seeing high levels of evictions. Evictions in Maricopa County are at the highest level since before the COVID-19 pandemic began. The highest number of monthly eviction notices happened in June of this year. The Maricopa County Justice Court shows that nearly 5,800 evictions were filed last month. That's 200 more than in June in 2019. Before state and federal eviction moratoriums slowed lockouts during the pandemic, Maricopa County had the highest eviction rate in the country. A court spokesperson has said that the rental assistance applications are still being accepted.
The nation is taking a new step to help fight suicide. Cronkite News reporter Connor Cox tells us that starting Saturday, phone providers are required to make a new calling code 988 accessible to all.
The public can call or text a new 3-digit code to get connected to mental health counselors. The idea is to give people an easy to remember and faster way to get help.
The 988 Lifeline will provide free and confidential support to people in suicidal, crisis, or mental health related distress 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It will help thousands of people overcome crises situations every day. And it will serve as a universal entry point so that no matter where you live, you can reach a trained crisis counselor who can help.
Here's how this works. An old number connecting callers to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline will stay in operation. But now, when people dial 988, they'll be connected to counselors within that network. One goal of the new hotline is to reduce interactions between those experiencing a mental health crisis and police. At the Google touchscreen, Connor Cox, Cronkite News.
Arizona's August primary is coming up and early voting is already underway. Maricopa County opened several voting centers on July 6th. Any registered voters can vote in person or drop off their mail-in ballots at these locations. More locations will be opening from July 22nd through August 2nd. For more information on locations and hours, you can visit locations.maricopa.vote. Students and staff at the University of Arizona are working on environmental projects to combat climate change. Cronkite News reporter John Brown explains the social and environmental impacts and what it could mean for the future.
Nestled in a farming oasis outside Tucson lays the University of Arizona Biosphere Building. Dr. Joost van Haren, the interim director of rainforest research, conducts his research on ecosystem responses to climate change, such as methane emissions.
About 15 years ago, for the first time, people figured out that trees can emit methane from their stems.
According to the academic journal The Conversation, trees account for about 50% of methane emissions.
Van Haren's goal is to work with students like Connor Benson to develop and understand tree methane emissions in forest.
It's going to be utilized to gain better knowledge on how the rainforest is affecting our climate.
For the students and staff, funding is crucial to connect their work to combat climate change and greenhouse gas emissions.
And on our website, we have a 360 guide to the biosphere that goes in depth with all this good video that we have here. Take a look at these info guides that we have that gives you specific information into our trip to the biosphere. And again, more information is on our website. In the newsroom, John Brown, Cronkite News.
Students at the University of Arizona Biosphere Institute hope to bring their work to the Amazon rainforest in Brazil in the coming months.
After the break, we head to Flagstaff and take a look at how one NAU professor and his students are studying spring water and learning about our ecosystem.
Also, we talk about how fire aftermath and what residents in northern Arizona should look out for to stay safe.
Okay, let's go right up in here and start having some fun.
Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge?
You can do anything. History is today.
Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just gonna love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village.
The landscape of criminal investigation.
Murder, almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavor to do our best.
We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure.
And the rest, as they say, is mystery.
I can hardly wait.
Art was one of the powers that made life life. I think we all believed that.
This is a real life story of a real live person.
This was my only connection to my culture.
Fight the power.
Our stories deserve to be heard.
You're passionate and you respect your heritage. That is a perfect recipe.
Now is the time for the Reformation. Now is the time to rebuild the nation.
That's amazing.
You're making me cry.
Some girls can go out there and just steal a spotlight.
This is the moment that we've all been waiting for.
Everyone has something to contribute to humanity. The arts are the thing that does that.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
The biggest drought in Arizona in years has caused Lake Mead to drop 26 feet this year alone. But Valeria Rodriguez found out we may need to look to the smaller water sources to get a better understanding of the severity of the drought in the Southwest.
There's no denying water is scarce in Arizona right now, but the large reservoirs aren't the only thing to measure the drought. Spring water is a crucial component of Arizona's ecosystem. For decades, Northern Arizona University professor Abe Springer and his students have been collecting data to better understand what the springs can tell us about the future. They have been looking at this one spring, Hawksworth, for 30 years.
Springs are integrators of all the processes that occur in the underlying aquifers. Hawksworth, along with all the other springs, helps us understand the response of the aquifer to climate, both snowmelt and summer rainfall events.
They have collected data from the Coconino National Forest and the Grand Canyon National Park. Springer says most spring water comes from the snowfall that seeps through the soil to the underground rock layers. They are great indicators of future water flow.
Small upland springs are sentinels that more quickly describe changes to wet or dry phases of climate.
Among other factors, researchers are looking at forest thinning's impact on spring water and the benefits of wildfires.
Low intensity and medium intensity fires have very beneficial responses for runoff and recharge. So where those types of fire intensities happen, they benefit the hydrology.
NAU graduate student's main focus is finding a way to better manage springs because they're so crucial to our environment.
Our efforts are basically trying to get the springs as a separate identity from the general forest management plan.
Because even the smallest trickles of water make a difference in a drought.
Better management of springs is going to be the role. It can be applicable to other semi-arid ecosystems around the country.
In Flagstaff, Valeria Rodriguez, Cronkite News.
The NAU research created from this project supports the For Fry initiative to restore healthy forests in northern Arizona.
Fires have been raging across the northern part of the state all summer, and now residents are seeing the fallout. Residents in northern Arizona will be hearing from county officials on Thursday night about new dangers after the fires. The tunnel and pipeline fires had such a severe impact on the region's landscape that flood risks are now very real. At least one home was damaged by 3 feet of water in the San Francisco Peaks area, with mud flows still in the area. Officials say they believe at least 300 homes are at risk from immediate flooding and over 1 million sandbags are needed. Next, let's check in with Connor Cox in the Weather Center to see if we're in danger of any breaking record temperatures this week.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. I hope you guys are having a spectacular day so far. Let's take a look at our futurecast and see what we got going on over the West Coast. As you can see, we got some cloud cover actually coming in over our great state with a possibility of showers. Over in California, not so much, but you're still going to want a vacation there, folks. 72 in Los Angeles, 71 in San Diego. Only place for finding relief here in Arizona is in Flagstaff at 81. I'd still take the beach over that. 10 degrees cooler, it's an easy pick. Well, let's dive into the state and see what else is going on. 112 in Phoenix, 105 in Tucson, 95 in Sedona, guys. See, it's just getting hotter the more west you go. Even up north, 95 in Sedona is just bonkers. Alrighty, what's tonight got in store? Right now, we are looking at roughly 110. But on the bright side, 99 by 10 p.m. And get this, guys, 20% chance of rain for the next 3 days. And it gets even better, because after that, our temperatures are finally going to be dropping again. Granted 4 degrees, but we'll take anything we can get here. In the Cronkite Weather Center, Connor Cox.
I'm Brianna Garcia. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. Find out how 3 NBA draft picks out of Arizona are doing with their new teams at NBA Summer League.
Okay, let's go right up in here and start having some fun.
Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge?
You can do anything.
History is today. Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just going to love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village.
The landscape of criminal investigation.
Murder, almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavour to do our best.
We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure.
And the rest, as they say, is mystery.
I can hardly wait.
art was one of the powers that made life life. I think we all believed that.
I'ma kick down every single door. I'ma show you what you never ever seen before. So come show you, I'ma show you.
This is a real life story of a real live person.
This was my only connection to my culture.
Fight the power.
Our stories deserve to be heard.
You're passionate and you respect your heritage. That is a perfect recipe.
Now is the time for the Reformation. Now is the time to rebuild the nation.
That's amazing.
You're making me cry.
Some girls can go out there and just steal a spotlight.
This is the moment that we've all been waiting for.
Everyone has something to contribute to humanity. The arts are the thing that does that.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Welcome back to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Brianna Garcia. It was a wild finish for the Mercury last night as they fell to the Lynx in double overtime, even as Sophie Cunningham continues her scoring blitz. Cunningham hit a second chance three with 4 seconds left in regulation to force the first overtime. Skylar Diggins-Smith, who scored a season-high 32 points, hit a driving layup to force the second OT. But Mercury came up short, losing 118 to 107. Cunningham finished a career-high 36 points, including 6 three-pointers.
I think when you have so many threats on the floor that we're hard guard for any team. And tonight it was just me and Sky that the ball was falling. But really, it could be anyone on any night for us. We're just that deep, and so I was open, I shot it, and I was just aggressive. But like I said, it's having so many threats out on the floor that kind of gets me open.
NBA Commissioner Adam Silver says the investigation of Suns owner Robert Sarver is near completion. Silver spoke at the Board of Governors meeting in Las Vegas yesterday. He did not want to say what the outcome would be, only that the investigation into allegations of racism, misogyny, and sexual misconduct by Sarver was in its final stage. For more on the Suns, we head to Las Vegas, where Ian Sachs has been following the team in their NBA Summer League.
The Suns continue to look to add pieces to the rotation. Though they didn't have any picks in last month's draft, there are 11 rookies on the Summer League roster. Through 3 games here in Vegas, the Suns have won a pair of blowouts and suffered a 25-point setback. But each of these contests serves as a reminder that this 11-day showcase is a learning experience for everyone on the court.
Last night against the Mavericks, Phoenix was led by a balanced attack en route to a 27-point win. The Suns controlled the game from the beginning and showed an elevated level of focus from just 2 days prior. With 8 players scoring at least 9 points, Summer League coach Steve Scalzi noted that players up and down the roster made positive impressions, with Suns head coach Monty Williams in attendance.
Anyone who's in was ready to do their role. That's what this thing is. That's the role that they're auditioning for in the NBA, is just to kind of be ready at any moment. And I think it was 1 through 16 today. Each guy showed that.
The players aren't the only ones trying out new jobs. 17-year NBA veteran small forward Richard Jefferson refereed the second quarter of the Knicks Trailblazers game Monday night. Each time he made a call or touched the ball, the entire arena let out a large cheer, which brought a smile to the face of the former Arizona Wildcat.
Jefferson is the 4th former player to try his hand at officiating. There's no word yet on any future refereeing gigs for the 42-year-old turned broadcaster. In Las Vegas, Ian Sachs, Cronkite News.
Summer League is a huge opportunity for new NBA draft picks to see how they stack up at the pro level. Cronkite News reporter Lauren Green takes a look at 3 former Wildcats who are making their debut.
A slate of Arizona basketball players made their Las Vegas Summer League debuts, and their college strengths were on full display for all to see. For Dalen Terry, who went to the Chicago Bulls, he's always been a vocal facilitator who brings the energy. While he's still adjusting to the NBA's pace of play, Terry's presence is reliable and can always be felt.
I'm just trying to be unselfish, just as unselfish as possible, so I can talk and communicate, especially on the bench. I was trying to keep the energy up like I was still out there. So,
with the number of Wildcats representing Arizona basketball here at the NBA Summer League, one of them that's standing out is Benedict Mathurin. Now, he was the number 6 pick overall in this draft, and that's the highest draft pick from an Arizona basketball player since DeAndre Ayton was picked number 1 in 2018 by the Phoenix Suns.
The main focus for me is just defense. I just want to be a two-way player.
and I want to show the NBA what I'm about.
Now an Indiana Pacer, Matherin's all-around game is present on the court. The former Pac-12 Basketball Player of the Year surely stands out and hasn't skipped a beat since being drafted. Christian Coloco, now a Toronto Raptor, has a defensive prowess as the recent Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year, towering at 7'1". For Coloco, Arizona prepared him for this next stage in his career.
And man, I can't be more thankful for those guys at Arizona they got me ready for this moment, and I'm forever going to be thankful to them for sure.
U of A basketball culture has always been strong when it comes to preparing players for the next level, and these new NBA players are now reaping the benefits from this program. From Las Vegas, Lauren Green, Cronkite News.
Finally, will ASU or Arizona try to join the Big 12 Conference? Speculation has been swirling since UCLA and USC left the Pac-12 for the Big 10. New Big 12 Commissioner Brett York-Mack was coy when answering the question at the conference media day.
The Big 12 is open for business. We will leave no stone unturned to drive value for the conference.
That's all for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Lauren.
After the break, we take a look at the explosion of DNA testing and the people most affected by the results and how they're dealing with the aftermath.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Welcome. How utterly charming.
Are you ready to get it going?
How does an English fan come to be Italian Riviera?
A fresh start. Can I trust you?
Are you ready for the show?
You can't be afraid to show them what you've got, what you want.
Are we having a party?
Of course, the more the merrier.
I love this place. It's my home now. Trouble in paradise. I can't do it on my own.
This is revenge.
There are consequences.
Be careful.
Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Oh.
You look like you need rescuing.
Don't we all?
What is it that you want? I just want to let go. I choose how I live.
There is the passion that I've been looking for. Okay, let's go right up in here and start having some fun.
Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge? You can do anything.
History is today. Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just gonna love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
With the continuing rise of at-home DNA tests, many people are finding surprising information about their family trees. But not all of these findings are good. Rachel Fortunato takes a look at an organization that helps people navigate the effects.
Keyright Hope and Healing hosts retreats for people who have discovered their family is different than they thought.
There are tons of these people who are finding this discovery.
A study shows that 20% of Americans have taken a mail-in DNA test. 1/3 of those people have discovered a relative they didn't previously know about.
It is literally life-changing, earth-shattering, and you're not the same person you were before.
These life-changing experiences are often only understood by people who have experienced similar discoveries. These retreats bring people together who can provide a lasting support system.
You know, I have a lot of people with good intent in my life that are very supportive,
but there's just nothing like being around people that have had the exact same experience as you.
The realizations aren't always happy. At retreats like this one in Arizona, facilitators host sessions that allow people to process the change.
I help people develop, using their five senses, develop sort of deeper, more visceral words and ways to write about their experiences.
Along with offering healing sessions, attendees also stay in a private home together. Hereith co-owner Erin Cosentino explains how this aspect reflects the real world.
We heal in these sessions, but we also think that it's super important that people realize that we do heal in the mundane.
The word Hereith means longing for someone's home. The hope is, at retreats like this, participants can find a new sense of what home can be. In Phoenix, Rachel Fortunato, Cronkite News.
Their Phoenix retreat was the first in the Western U.S., and most retreats last around 5 days.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.